Hello and welcome to Idea Television Midday News. I am Adewale Alashiko. We begin with the headlines. Tinubu extends raw shea nut export ban to 2027. Smart Zamfara Gates Foundation hold talks on digital partnership. Burkina Faso launches Syria platform to track public donations. Tinubu urges urgent constitutional amendments for state police and amid rising insecurity. Egypt partners AREEB technology to boost ICT skills. Away from Africa, South Korea and UAE signed $35 billion defense cooperation in an MOU. Spain's migrant amnesty faces strain as applicants scramble. To business, Nigerian crude surges above $70 per barrel, exceeds federal government's 2026 budget. In health, Nigeria urged to move mental health from silence to systems. And in sport, FC ROBO stars join Super FALCONS for CAMEROON friendlies. Now the news in details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved a one-year extension of the ban of the export of raw shea nuts. The renewed directive takes effect today, February 26, 2026, and will run until February 25, 2027. The presidency says the move is aimed at boosting local processing, strengthening domestic value addition, and increasing export earnings from proceeds of shea products. All existing waivers allowing direct export of raw shea nuts have been withdrawn, and surplus production must now go through an approved regulatory framework. Officials say the policy is designed to support the nationwide rollout of digital solutions. The initiative aims to position digital transformation as a key driver of inclusive national development. And now to Burkina Faso, the country's Ministry of ICT has launched a new digital platform to improve transparency in public donations. The platform, known as Syria, was unveiled on Wednesday, 25th of February, to support Faso Mebo, a government initiative that finances development projects. Syria enables real-time tracking of citizens' contributions, automatic reporting, and visual dashboards to monitor project progress. It is integrated with the national payment systems FASO Azerac to secure the centralized financial flow. ICT Minister Aminata Zerbo Sabana said the platform is designed to strengthen transparency, accountability, and trust between the state and citizens. Officials say its success will depend on public uptake and its ability to improve governance through digital tools. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called on the 10th Senate to urgently consider constitutional amendments that would allow the creation of state police in Nigeria. He made the appeal during an interfaith breakfast with senators at the presidential villa, highlighting the need for decentralized policing to strengthen security at the grassroots level. With the countries facing terrorism, banditry, and insurgency, Tinubu said localized law enforcement will enable states to respond quickly to threats while supporting federal security agencies. He said, "What I will ask for tonight is for you to start thinking how best to amend the constitution to incorporate the state police to secure our country, take over our forests and marauders, and free our children from fear." Security challenges have escalated, with reports showing over 4,700 kidnappings between mid-2024 and mid-2025, and ransom payments exceeding 2.5 billion naira. The president's call builds on previous legislative efforts, signaling a push to empower states to protect communities, reclaim forested areas, and improve public safety nationwide. And now to Egypt. The country's National Telecommunication Institute has signed a cooperation agreement with AREEB Technology to strengthen youth training in information and communications technology. The protocol was signed on February 26, 2026 as part of efforts to better align technical skills with labor market demands. The partnership will deliver specialized training programs, hands-on industry projects, and joint workshops aimed at improving graduates' readiness for local and regional job markets. Officials say the initiative will support national plans to build a sustainable digital economy. The agreement was signed by Professor Ahmed Khattab, Director of the Institute, and Engineer Majid Golda Muhammad Jibril, Chief Executive Officer of AREEB Technologies, in the presence of senior representatives from both organizations. We'll go on a quick break now. When we return, the news continues.
Augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR. AR and VR are transforming the way we experience the world, offering immersive digital environments in everything from gaming to training simulations. AR overlays digital elements onto the real world, think Pokemon Go, while VR immerses users in a completely virtual space. Industries like real estate and education are adopting these technologies for virtual tours and interactive learning, but the cost of high-end equipment remains a barrier. Despite that, the AR/VR market is projected to reach $209.2 billion by 2025, driven by advancements in hardware and 5G networks.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Idea Television Midday News. Now to the rest of the news. South Korea and the United Arab Emirates have signed a memorandum of understanding to boost defense cooperation with projects valued at more than $35 billion. The agreement, confirmed by Seoul's presidential envoy Kang Hong-sik, covers multiple areas including anti-air defense, the Air Force, and naval capabilities. Kang, who serves as a chief of staff to President Lee Jae-myung, shared the details upon returning from the UAE. The deal marks a significant step in bilateral defense collaboration, reflecting both nations' strategic intents to strengthen military capabilities and technology partnerships. Now to Spain. The country is preparing to grant legal status to around 500,000 undocumented migrants in a new regularization drive starting in April. However, the process is already straining immigration officers with long queues and anxious applicants seeking guidance on documentation and eligibility. Union officials warn that the lack of additional staffing and funding could derail the program despite the government's efforts to fast-track applications. The initiative aims to integrate migrants into formal economy, but experts caution that chronic delays and insufficient resources may hamper its success, leaving many migrants in limbo and fueling illegal practices like paying intermediaries for appointment slots. The Spanish government has said applicants with clean criminal records and 5 months of continuous residence or prior asylum applications may qualify, but many details remain unclear. And now to business. Nigeria crude oil has surged past $70 per barrel, exceeding the federal government's 2026 budget benchmark of $64.85. Bonny light crude traded around $71 per barrel, slightly down from Monday's $72.30, but remains attractive due to light and sweet quality, which makes it cheaper to refine into diesel and gasoline. The rise is linked to geopolitical tensions, particularly in the Red Sea and the Strait of Hormuz, as the United States prepare for another round of nuclear talks with Iran. Iranian naval exercises in the strategic strait, through which roughly 20 million barrels of oil pass daily, have heightened concerns over potential supply disruptions. Nigeria's oil sector promise supported by new crude grades, the Dangote refinery production of over 650,000 barrels per day, and declining crude theft. With the federal government launching a licensing round for 50 oil and gas blocks, the surges in prices strengthen the country's revenue outlook, boost domestic energy security, and could increase foreign exchange earnings. And now to health. A health law expert, Professor Chiluchi Onyemelukwe, says Nigeria must shift from stigma and silence to structured community-based mental health care. Speaking at the 3rd International Mental Health Conference organized by the ACIDO Foundation on February 26, 2026, she warned that the country faces a severe treatment gap. She noted that Nigeria has fewer than 300 psychiatrists serving more than 200 million people, with less than 5% of the national health budget allocated to mental health. While describing the 2023 Mental Health Act as a milestone, she stressed that real progress depends on funding, implementation, and public engagement. Oyo State Commissioner for Health Dr. Oluwa Sherimi Ajetumobi said the state has integrated mental health services across primary health care facilities in all 33 local government areas. Stakeholders at the event called for stronger national action, reduced stigma, and expanded access to care nationwide. And now to sports. Two FC ROBO players, Ista Onyezide and Favor Nkwocha, have joined the Super Falcons camp of Yaoundé ahead of Nigeria's two-legged friendly against Cameroon. Both were part of the first group to arrive and took part in the opening training session, with Onyezide returning to the squad for the first time since 2024. Nkwocha, recently grabbed attention with an Olympic goal for the Falconets in their 3-1 win over Ghana at the FEB Championship. The friendlies, scheduled for Saturday, February 28th and Tuesday, March 3rd, serve as key preparations for the 13th Women's African Cup of Nations in Morocco, running from 17th of March to 3rd of April 2026, and acting as qualifiers for the 2027 FIFA International Women's World Cup in Brazil. Nigeria entered the tournament as the continent's most successful team with 10 WAFCON titles, including last summer's win in Morocco. The upcoming matches against Cameroon are crucial for restoring competitive rhythm and allowing head coach Justin Madugu to rebuild team cohesion as the Super Falcons aim to defend their title. That is all we have for you on Idea Television Media News, but before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. Tinubu extends raw shea nut exports ban to 2027. Smart Zamfara Gates Foundation hold talks on digital partnership. Burkina Faso launches Syria platform to track public donations. Tinubu urges constitutional amendment for state police and rising insecurity. Egypt partners AREEB technology to boost ICT skills. Away from Africa, we brought you to South Korea and the UAE signed $35 billion defense cooperation. Spain's migrant amnesty faces strain as applicants scrambles. And in business, Nigeria crude surges above $70 per barrel, exceeds federal government's 2026 budget. And in health, Nigeria urged to move mental health from silence to systems. And lastly, in sport, FC ROBO stars join Super Falcons for Cameroon friendlies. Do not forget to follow us across our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Adewale Olashokwo. Thank you for watching.